What's going on, my meme kings and scream queens? I'm still Matthew, and I'm still reviewing this giant stack that I have here next to me. Up next is Watchmen, the director's cut. What I believe is one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. You know, everyone's always singing the praises of the graphic novel, but I think this is the much better version. I've read the graphic novel, it's still amazing. I'm sorry, Alan Moore, but the movie is... It's... I'll admit, it has some problems, but, I mean, I've seen, you know, a lot of the Watchmen fanboys hate the movie because it changes the ending. I'll get to that later, but the ending just makes much more sense in the movie. But, first of all, you've got a great cast. You've got Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach. I love Jackie Earle Haley. I think he's got an amazing voice. I mean, he's second best Freddy Krueger, but that's only because there was only one other Freddy Krueger. But Jackie Earle Haley is amazing. I'd love to work with him, especially. I mean, he's just. This is like him at the top of his game, and you've got again another guy that I just really love. I'd love to work with Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the comedian, kind of the guy that holds the whole story together. You know, you've got what is his name? You have Patrick Wilson as Night Owl. You know, everyone's great in this movie. You know, everyone just does it so well. And so it's very much, you know, I mean, I said it in the One Punch Man review. It's what if God got bored with us. But this time it's more along the lines of what if Superman got bored with us. There is, speaking of Superman, to go off on a tangent, just a bit of a mistake. I don't know if you'd call it a mistake. It's more of just an issue with like the in-universe lore, I guess, of the movie. Not necessarily the book, but the movie. You have the part of the beginning during the opening credits, you know, which I feel like I may be saying amazing too much in this review, and that's probably not going to stop. But the opening credits themselves are amazing. They tell so much of the backstory. But you have the original Night Owl, Hollis Mason, and he stops a mugger from killing a rich family. You know, he saves the Wayne family. All right, now that's fine enough because Watchmen was a DC graphic novel, so maybe that should, you know, if you were like, oh, that just explains why there's no Batman. But the problem is in that same exact scene, behind them, you see a poster for Batman. Alright. That's really... It's just something that I didn't notice at first. I watched this movie probably a dozen times, never noticed it, and then I had it pointed out for me, and now whenever the opening credits roll, that's like all I can see. But, you know, I really don't want to spoil this movie too much because it's so good. Everyone needs to see this movie. You know, again, like I said in One Punch Man, it's such a perfect deconstruction of superheroes in general. That it's a lot of people don't like Zack Snyder, and I have my own criticisms for him, for Batman v Superman, and I like Man of Steel. But everyone blames him for any movie that they have for this, or for any problem that they have for this movie. But I feel like this is... I don't think he could have made this movie any better. Any change at all that Zack Snyder or the studio could have made to this, would have made the movie the worse for it. I don't think I can say this is a perfect movie. Like I said, there's that whole Batman thing, but I don't really know what's going on with that. Like, why that's even there. But the ending. Again, without spoiling too much, in the graphic novel, it's aliens. In the movie, it's Dr. Manhattan. Alright? If you haven't seen this movie or read the graphic novel, that doesn't really spoil anything for you. If you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So, but if it's Dr. Manhattan, it makes so much more sense. It ties so many of the story beats together. If it's aliens, it's aliens. It seems like such a cop-out. But, that's about as in-depth as I can go with that without just spoiling it. It's just, watch this movie, read the graphic novel, or read the graphic novel and watch the movie. I saw the movie first. I'd like to think that I'm not biased in thinking that the movie's better. But it's great. It's, probably I don't think it's like, I don't think it's... I don't think it's wrong to say that this movie is one of the best movies that we've gotten and will get this century. Like, I don't know if that's an exaggeration or not, but that's how I feel. And this is just a movie review, so everything's subjective. Again, I don't like giving movies a numerical score. Just, watch the movie or don't. I'm suggesting this movie to you. Watchmen, the director's cut. Just do it. Watch it. Live it. Whatever you need to do to see this movie, do it. Although I can't advocate for anything illegal. So, on the record, rent it. Pay money for it, whatever. Off the record, no comment. But hey, comment something below of any movie, TV show, or whatever, games even, that you want me to review, and I'll add that to my list of things to review. Like the video, share it, subscribe. I'm looking for sponsors. In the description, you'll find my Amazon wish list. If you're feeling charitable, buy something on the wish list. Help me out. I can review that stuff, or it'll help me. Some of it's hardware. But yeah, I'm still Matthew, and I'm not going anywhere.